Today I'm going to present Tech Data's Series M version 7 resource booking program. Tech Data offers two different models of its booking software, a daily booking system and an hourly booking system. They're both very much alike but are for two different applications. Today we're going to be talking about the daily booking system. The daily system is equipped with, among other things, custom calendars that are directly linked to delivery schedules and routes for delivery to various locations. Version 7 is also a 100% web-based program, not web-enabled. Therefore, operators will use a browser to operate the system, in this case Internet Explorer. Also, as a result of the technology that is used in our 100% web-based design, all the tasks will be result in real-time results, as opposed to waiting for things to appear maybe even the next day. So there's no longer any large turnaround time. It's all real-time or instant results. I will demonstrate this capability later in the presentation. In the meantime, I'll take you through the main menu. Please note that each menu item features several sub-selections. Each has a specific function, but all are interrelated. Another convenient feature found in version 7 is that whatever area you are working in, the information will be maintained so that if you have to leave and go to another part of the program, you can go right back to where you left off, which can be a real time saver and save a lot of aggravation. Also, version 7 is very fast, and when you're looking for information on any person, place, or thing, it comes back to you very quickly. And so taking care of customer inquiries is easy, and maybe we should start right there. So I'll take you through the menu quickly, and then we'll go right into the search mode. So you'll notice there's a menu bar across the top. My menu is for personalizing the system for your particular task or functions. More about that later. Oh, and you'll notice I'm logged in, and here's today's date and time. So that's handy for later on if you need to verify who was using a workstation at some point, etc. You can find that through log files. Okay, quickly, orders. Well, it's just what it implies. It's where you would go to input an order for a user. In addition, there's the search, which we'll get into later, and batch extend. Next is circ, or circulation. It's for checking out and checking in items. People coming in who do not have a reservation, you can just scan things out, conversely scan them back in. The system checks availability automatically, so it won't let something go out that already has a booking. If it interferes with it, it won't let it go out. And there's a couple other features here as well. Daily, these are really your daily routines, we call them. The system generates list labels and reports for all the activity that's happening each day. You can have this all done as a batch job or do them individually. This menu here is arranged and configured on a customer basis. Per customer basis, it's customized, so things you see here may not apply to your operation, or you're not seeing things that you would normally see on your system. Anytime you see chevrons to the right of a selection means there's more things underneath it, for example, in this case, as indicated. Again, this whole list of functions is designed on a per custom basis. Reports, just what it implies, listings of all the things in the database, the databases, activity, where things are, who has them, etc. Summary, that's for the end of a semester, end of a quarter, end of the year, etc. We can get the reports on what's been happening. And then catalog pertains to the catalog, entries for it. And then the system also generates reports very quickly in a PDF format, so they're handy to, well, email around, that kind of thing, but it's not limited to that output format. Maintenance, or maint rather, is short for maintenance, and this is where these are the databases. The daily system, this of course is what we're talking about here. This nomenclature may not apply to an hourly system, that's our other software program, but would be the same style. Utilities, get into those more again later on, but these are things that are done occasionally. Options, just what it implies, different options that are available. Admin or administration is an area reserved for the people who really maintain the system, or the supervisors and directors. And there's a log file, and then preferences. For example, you can set up printers any type you want, and this is not just an example. It's not limited to this, and it's for the different types of printers, different types of formats, and form types, etc. In addition, again, you would set things up probably on a one-time basis, but it allows you to go in and change them at will. And there's other things under the administration area of the program as well. Then there's help. The system has a built-in electronic manual, so point and click. So whatever you happen to be working on, you can just go into that area and select it, and it brings it right up and tells you what to do. Very handy and very helpful. A couple other things under the help, but two others, well, others that might be important are, did you know, it's archives of things that we've just, feedback from customers over the years that might be handy. You can look at it and say, oh, that's how you do that, or that kind of thing. Contact Tech Data, of course, just what it implies. Sends us an email to our support department. And this is our blog that, as a customer, you'd be eligible to be a member. So that's what the menu is about. So very quickly, we'll take a short break here. Okay, we're back. So we're going to head over to the orders menu area and look at the search area real quick. It's where you can look up information that what we call, there's two categories, active and historic. Well, active is just what it implies. It means looking for activity on users, their buildings, titles, or by date, or by actual specific media types. And the icons are, this clears the entries. This, of course, is for searching. Generally speaking, with all our icons, when you hover over them, a little info bar pops up that tells you what it's there for. And of course, this is a calendar for picking the dates. Over to the right, this is a convenience box where you can use this. Whatever you find, you can just print it out real quickly. And if you want to, you can go right over to the orders worksheet, and whatever information you have populated over here will transfer to the order worksheet, so you don't have to enter it again. I can collapse these by just clicking on the corner, move it out of the way. What another feature about Series M version 7 is, whatever you're working on, as I said, remains resident. I mentioned that earlier, so if you happen to leave an area and go back later, it's still available as a reference. So in this case, this happens to be a client that I was working with earlier, and also the building that they're connected to, and the item that they had ordered, and the media type. So if I wanted to, I could just click on this name and it would transfer it over here, and I could search for more things about this person. However, what I'm going to do is just show you how to work this in a fresh manner. And so what I would do is click on that icon and put in a last name. In this case, same person who I have on the screen already, but I'm showing you what it would look like by searching. So I have several people with two people with the name Marsh and others with that name amongst their names. But I'm looking for Dan Marsh, so there's his user number, username, building name. Click on it, and it transfers it over to the screen. Oh, this is Kevin Marsh. Well, that's fine. That's going to work too. So what I can do at this point is just hit search, and anything activity with this person would pop up. Well, as we see, there isn't any. So what I will do then is use the Dan Marsh from my previous operation and just use his name, and it will transfer it over, which it has done. They happen, and there's the building has changed. So if I hit search now, there's some things that Dan Marsh has. Well, he returned one item and he booked. Here's some new bookings right below here. Now this whole page, all these links are hyperlinks, so I can go right to the status area or to the title area, etc. So if I wanted to, I can look at his user record, for example. And if I need to do something in here, again, I can collapse this little box, move it out of the way. If I need to change something over here, I can. But I'm going to leave this area for a moment because I don't want to get off track here. The point with this area is you can go in and check the status of things relative to their order. So this is a booking. It's still active, so if I want to, I can edit this request. I can print a label right now if I need to, cancel it, extend it, add a note, transfer it to someone else, etc. Various things that are available. I don't want to do anything to it right now, so I'm just going to close it. The point is, all these areas are available to either use as a reference or actually make a change to the existing order. So this is through the search. Now I'm going to clear the page here, and if I just wanted to search by a building, I could do that. I'll just take this building over here, this Marsh Elementary, and see what's going on over there. So there's a couple other people there as in addition to Dan. The point is, the system offers you the convenience to look up things very quickly, again, by these various criteria. And as far as historic, I'll clear the page again. If I go into the historic mode, I'll pick Dan once again, and I hit search. You can see there's been quite a bit of activity for Dan historically. And again, we'll get into the nuances of all these things later, but the point is, again, search is very handy, very powerful, and you should be able to find anything about a person, place, or thing very quickly. Okay, clear the screen. Now, we'll look at the orders worksheet real quick. And again, because I was working with Dan, this account, it already populated the screen for me. Now, obviously, if I don't want this information, I can find someone else, etc. I'm going to collapse this screen over here again. And so, real quickly, there's a user number. That's what we need in order to do a enter an order. You can look up people, obviously, by going to the search. I can click here, see all his requests. I can click here to override his group. Group simply means it's a function in the program that restricts users to certain collections. So if Dan is only allowed to use science material, that's all he'll be able to book because he's in the science group. And it also pertains to video streaming. It's real handy for, if you have people who subscribe to things like Discovery, but you use also Learn 360, but a certain school isn't paying for Learn 360. You can put them in the Discovery group, but they won't be able to use the Learn 360 because they're not part of that group. So you can override the groups right here if you're doing a booking for someone. So, real quickly, so they want an order number, or user number rather. A shipping route. Dan's building Marsh Elementary is on a Monday-Tuesday schedule. I could override this and do a walk-in if he happened to walk in here and wanted to pick it up, or wanted to order it that way, which means he could order it for pickup, and then it would be on the courier's route for pickup by the courier on the return end. I can also change the delivery point. If he said, I don't want it delivered to this Marsh Elementary, I need it to go to a different building, I can just change it on the fly as well by entering a different building number or look one up and move it in here. And there's a title number, and again, it's a lookup feature, and how many they want of a particular thing. If it's like a book and they want 10 copies, you could do that. And here's the title itself that happened to be the last one he worked with. And so there's it says it's active, which means it's an active title. It says there's 2 copies available for this time frame, which was his booking that was in there previously. If I want to look at the title here real quick myself, it pops up the catalog for me. I can read about it. So if a person happened to call, I could look things up for them without leaving the orders worksheet and then read the information to them. Then there's the view date, and then these chevrons here will shuttle it along. The first one shuttles it by 1 day, the second one shuttles it by a month, or I can use the periods. And the periods are all predefined, so period 1 would be, there aren't any periods in this particular item, and so there, but you could have up to, I think, 10. So period 1 might be a week long, period 2 might be a month long, and so you could just assign those real quick. When you put in the view date, that's the date that they want to see the title. It automatically adjusts the ship, call, and due dates, which in all cases you can override those. And then down below you hit the booking button, which books the item, and if you want to, you can print out a list or labels right now if you need to do that on the fly. If the item's not available, you have turn down reasons, and there's some in here you can make up your own, and then it will send out a confirmation that either says here's your booking, or here's the reason you're not going to get this item. And in this case, if I wanted to share this with someone, he could do that as well. We could just put in a new account name. So the idea is to, well, first thing you do is, if this patron's okay, we'll go to another, pick another item. So we do a search. We can do a search by title, name, or catalog entry, which would be keywords. I'll do that, and I'll go Sozo by Obama here. It's very popular right now. And so we have 10 records that have Obama in there as part of their criteria. And I need a VHS, and so I see I have one here, and if I point at it, it tells me it's a video cassette, of course, and then it tells me about the title right there, and I can read about it real quick and make sure it fits the user's need. So if that's what I want, I just click on it, because it already tells me it's active on the same screen, so I know it's out there and it's available to be used. So there it is in the screen. Again, for these dates, it's available. So all I have to do now is, when do they really want it? Well, I could type in the date, or I could pick it off a calendar, but I'm going to pick it off the calendar to let you see what that looks like. There's always a little delay here when using this system, by the way, because we're doing this recording. So here's the current 3 months, and then, it just moves along for your years there. So, well, you can see from the color code bar, the gray is available, and yellow was not available, and red's a holiday, etc. So let's just say that they wanted it for the 16th of December. And so there you have it. And it set all up the shipping and the due. And this time frame, by the way, not only is affected by the delivery and pickup dates, it also, there's a cycle. So if items are, VHS tapes are, when they're entered, the default use date might be a week. That's all set up automatically, so that goes in there in addition to the delivery padding, if you will, for the for the cycle for the delivery. It's all preset, but again, it can be overridden. So at this point, it all looks good. So we just, and it said 1 copy is available for this date. So hit book, and it says it's booked now. You see now no prints are available because I only had 1 copy, and I booked it now. So for this date, there's there aren't any others available. Excuse me. So now at the bottom of the screen, you'll notice it has started this. It's starting a list. And so if I want to, for some reason, if I needed to make a change, I overlook something, I can bring up the edit request, which we saw earlier from the search screen. Again, it's available on the booking screen. So the idea is you really don't ever have to leave the booking screen unless you absolutely need to. You can hop over to the search, and which we'll do. And again, we can do a new search, but if I thought, oh well, I'm going to go back to the order screen, I didn't really need to leave. My Dan Mars, he's still on the screen, but you notice this business at the bottom is gone. So what I want to do here is just click show all requests. Well, there's the one we just made down here at the bottom. Here's the other ones that are already in the system. So anytime I want to bring up its request, I just click on that. So that's how the booking works in a nutshell. We're going to take another pause here. We're back. So now what we're going to do is just jump right over to the maintenance page. And show you what the user database looks like. First of all, very quickly, you'll see these icons throughout the databases. Up to this point, they are approximately all the same. So once you know how to use each one of these, you know how to use the database, use the databases to enter, edit, and delete information. And depending on which area you are in, there's some other functionality. Like in this case, the user database, I can click on this stat bar to see what this individual has been using in some different points and times. I can do that, or I can click here and send them an email to change their password. Over here, I can look at their request again, we were doing earlier. And if I want to, I can print out this list or reconfirm them, etc. Otherwise, all the databases operate approximately the same way. So here's the user number. This combination reflects, well, if you wanted to use it on its the way it was designed to be the most effective, this would break down as there's the building, the district, and the last 4 digits of some key number. When it was originally designed, it would have been their Social Security number, the last 4 digits, I guess. But the idea with that structure was to, for more detailed analysis of information. but you know, you're not locked in that way. But every patron is attached to a building, and every building's attached as part of a district, generally speaking. And so this record layout, and as all the record layouts and all the databases, there's what we call our general or boilerplate. So your record layout in your system may not look like this exactly, and if you're using a competitive product, you may have different nomenclature, or there may be fields that you don't that you're using that you don't see in this. Well, we would, if we were doing a data conversion and transfer, we would of course capture those and build up the record to reflect your needs. And since it's our software, we can change it any way we want to fit your operation. And so you're not locked in. Okay, real quick, so there's the number we were talking about. Name, typically the entry is last name, first name. Groups, these groups reflect just what they are. So this, in this case, Dan is part of all the groups. The other three subgroups, if you will, would be people that are in the JAC group. They would only be allowed to use things that are part of that group. These groups all can be custom labeled, so this could have said the Discovery group or Learn 360 group, etc. And there can be a lot more groups than just the three you see here. Then the email address, phone number, password, which was you put in a system will assign a default password, and if you want to allow patrons to change their password, that's available as well. And then what we call alternate login. So you have three ways you can log into the system: the borrower's number, their email address, or the first initial last name, and of course their password. So hopefully they will remember those elements or those variations. And then the if you want to, depending on the nature of the patron, you can put in an expiration date, so at when the system hits that date, they can no longer use the system. They can't do bookings, for example. In this case, Dan is has all the rights that are available just in terms of a general system. He can do bookings. He also has supervisory rights. He is a coordinator and a staff member. Well, typically, if you were just a teacher, you would just have booking. Students, there would be another item to select from, and students would have limited rights as well. Supervisor is a manager of a department, so they have rights to go in to do anything they want, primarily the admin part of the program. Coordinators are the people that out in the buildings in the districts who do the ordering for the teachers. It was very popular in some of the areas of the country. Some others, they don't do things like that, but it's in our software. Staff member are the people working in the department who actually operate Series M. And they have different privileges that are below the supervisor, for example. So that's what a user record looks like. And so if we were to go to look at a building record, which I don't have to go through this main menu because each patron's attached to a building, I can just click on this handy menu right in the record. And so there's his building, and there's the route. And he's part of District Marshland. And again, so very common elements, these icons, plus a couple other things there, as you can see. So I can display all the users at this building now if I want. So there's several here. And stats again for the building. And again, here's this as a period 5, stop 0, etc. These are all pertain to the delivery. So then, as I mentioned, patron, building, district. So we can go right over here. Otherwise, I could click here and go to district, or use the handy embedded menu, go to the district. And there it is. And again, in this case, common elements, again, you can look at here, display district stats or all the buildings in that district. And if I want to, change the routes for this particular district. In this case, these two happen to be the same routing information. So it's very handy. Because these things are interconnected, we just provide the ease and convenience of letting you just move between these interrelated areas without having to go through the main menu all the time. So we're going to take a quick pause here. Okay, so this part of the presentation has run over 30 minutes. So what we're going to do is conclude it for now, and we'll get back with the next areas, which would be putting in new titles, etc., and then running some reports. So until then, thank you.